The riding season is here, and it seems that adventure riders and travelers could be in for a treat for this month since there are quite some big launches, not only from Indian but international manufacturers as well. And before we tell you about that, don't forget to like, share and subscribe to BikeWale. Hello ladies and gentlemen, you are watching all the bikes that will be launched in this month, that is November. And the first one on this list is the most awaited, probably the most awaited product of the entire year, the Royal Enfield Himalayan 452. And we have ridden it a fair bit in the Himalayas, so if you want to check out a first ride review, here is the link. So firstly, the new Himalayan seems to be quite modern and gets a new design, a slightly new design compared to the older bike. So as you see, the tank, it gets slight tweaks on its edges, and even the seat is slightly less scooped than before. And then there are new features like all LED illumination, a fully TFT screen, and now this is the first time that Royal Enfield has given its bike a fully digital console. It is packed with readouts and even comes with smartphone connectivity, which offers screen mirroring for Google Maps, which makes the navigation quite easy. Now, we were the first ones to break the news to the world about the new Himalayan 452, and we were also the first ones to tell you about its engine figures. Royal Enfield calls this the Sherpa 450, and it is the most modern engine from the company. It is a 450cc single-cylinder liquid-cooled engine that makes 40 bhp at 8000 rpm and 40 Newton meters at 5500 rpm. Now, we rode the bike at a fairly high altitude, so the Himalayan 450 was only making a little more than half of its power. However, the engine felt very smooth and allowed us to ride at triple-digit speeds for a stretch. It gets a 6-speed gearbox, which too felt quite responsive. Then, for added convenience, Royal Enfield is also offering height adjustability with the new Himalayan. In its factory setting, the seat height measures 825 mm, but in case you want to lower it, there is an accessory seat which brings the height down to 805 mm. It can also be increased to 845 mm if the need be. The new Himalayan weighs 196 kg and handles very well on both off-road and on the road. Then Royal Enfield has given it USD front forks and an offset monoshock with a single disc at both ends. That said, the brand is already working on homologating the cross-spoke wheels for the Himalayan 450 for the Indian market. But that would take some time and will come at an additional cost, since those will be an accessory only. As for its asking price, we think Royal Enfield could price the new Himalayan somewhere around 2.50 to 2.6 lakh rupees. And this would be for its base variant, as we expect multiple variants of the Himalayan to be launched. And for its rivals, the new Himalayan will have the KTM 390 Adventure, BMW G310GS and the ESD Adventure in its list of opponents. And for the remaining bikes, both will come from the German bike maker, that is BMW Motorrad. First one will be the R1300GS and second one will be the M1000XR. So let's talk about the R1300GS first. And the images of the new R1300GS have already leaked online, and it has received quite polarizing opinions because of its headlight, since BMW has strayed completely away from its traditional headlight, and the new one, the 1300GS, gets a diagonal LED setup of sorts. However, from what we can see in those images, it seems that the bike has not lost its presence and still looks like a proper hunched big ADV only. Now, BMW has built the new R1300GS around an all-new chassis, and it gets a brand new subframe as well. And the intention behind this is very clear. Now, most of the riders use their GSs for traveling and a handful for off-roading. So, BMW wants to offer top-class riding quality with the R1300GS. Going by its name, it's very evident that the flagship BMW ADV now gets a larger engine, and it makes 45 bhp and 140 Newton meters. To increase its efficiency, BMW has also added the shift cam technology to the R1300GS. One more trick that BMW has used is relocating the gearbox under the engine to make the overall setup notably lighter. Even the shaft drive is new and lighter, so it helps the bike save about 2.6 kilos of weight right there. And it goes without saying, the R1300GS is loaded with features from a 6.5-inch TFT screen to ride modes, traction control, cruise control, ABS and a lot more. Now moving on to its pricing, BMW has already launched the R1300GS in the UK and it costs about 19 lakh rupees. But we expect it to cost around 23 to 24 lakh rupees in India. And once launched, it will rival the Multistrada V4 and the Honda Africa Twin. And now moving on to the last section of this video, that is the BMW M1000XR. And BMW says that it is the most powerful crossover bike that BMW has ever made. So when you hear M in any of the automobiles from BMW, you know you are in for a treat. And same could be the case with the M1000XR. While it may look similar to the S1000XR, we can clearly see there's loads of carbon fiber everywhere, from its tank to the side panels, and then there are these forged aluminum wheels and a lot more new goodies on the M1000XR. Now, even its power figures are quite eye-watering, since this bike makes over 200 bhp and somewhere around 130 Newton meters of torque. And that is not it. To tame all these horses, all these ponies, BMW will also offer a truckload of electronics, right from wheelie control, ride modes, traction control, pit lane speed limiter, launch control, and every other feature that has control in it. Now, BMW India has already teased the bike on its official website a long time ago. So we know that it will be launched in India, but when? Well, that is something only time will tell. Now moving to its last bit, the pricing, and we think the BMW M1000XR will be fairly expensive. And the math behind this is pretty simple. So the standard S1000RR costs about 20 to 24 lakh rupees, and its M version, that is the M1000RR, costs nearly more than double of it, which is around 50 lakh rupees. And for reference, the standard S1000XR costs about rupees 22 lakhs. So you can expect the M1000XR to cost nearly more than 45 to 50 lakh rupees. So these are the bikes that we expect in the month of November.